The apartment was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, but the heavy, airless silence that presses against your eardrums. My name is Alara, and for 3 weeks I hadn't slept soundly. It started subtly, a feeling of being watched, a persistent cold prickling on the back of my neck, even when I was alone. The first clear sign was the whisper. It happened around 3 a.m. I was reading, trying to distract myself, when a sound, thin as a razor wire, brushed past my ear. It wasn't a word, just a sound, like dried leaves scraping stone. I froze. The room was empty. The windows were shut. I told myself it was the pipes or the old building settling. But the sound wasn't in the room. It was at my ear. The next night it returned. This time I heard a name, my name, spoken so softly, so intimately, it felt like a secret shared only between the darkness and me. I ripped the covers over my head, but the sound seemed to resonate inside the pillow. I didn't dare move, didn't dare breathe. The days became a blur of coffee and anxiety. I started leaving the TV on, just for the noise, a distraction from the possibility of silence. But the silence found its way in. It would swallow the sound of the TV, leaving a hollow space, and then the whisper would begin. I began to see things, fleeting shadows at the edge of my vision, a movement in the hallway mirror when I walked past. They were never concrete, always just at the periphery, like a bad reflection of reality. One evening, I decided to fight back. I stood in the center of the living room, heart hammering, and demanded, "Show yourself." The silence that followed was immense. Then the whisper came again, louder this time and laced with something that sounded like dry amusement. "I'm already here, Alara." I rushed to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face. When I looked up, the reflection in the mirror wasn't quite right. My face was there, but behind me, just over my shoulder, was a shape. Tall, impossibly thin, and draped in what looked like tattered cloth. It had no face, only a darkness where features should be. It didn't move, but the air around it shimmered with cold. I screamed and spun around. Nothing. The room was empty. I looked back at the mirror. My own horrified reflection stared back. But as I watched, the reflection's eyes darted. Not my eyes, my reflection's eyes. They looked past me toward the doorway. A slow realization dawned. It wasn't behind me anymore. It was inside the reflection. It was trapped there, and it was watching me through my own eyes. I covered the mirror with a thick blanket, shaking. But I still felt the cold, and the whispers didn't stop. They became constant, a ceaseless, low murmur, always addressing me, always telling me things I didn't want to hear. The thing in the mirror had found a way to reach me, to live in the edges of my sanity. Last night I woke up and the blanket had fallen off the mirror. My reflection was staring at me, and then it smiled. It was my mouth, my lips, but the expression was alien, predatory. And the final whisper was clear, echoing in the quiet air. "You can't hide from yourself, Alara." I know now I won't survive the next night. The silence is coming for me, and it has my face.